Hey there, football fans. What's up? Welcome back to Goalside. Before we start, don't forget to participate in our lottery for a chance to win a $100 Amazon gift card. All you have to do is like this video, subscribe to the channel, and write the hidden message that you'll find later in the video in the comment section. Good luck. Ball boys are often underrated, but still a very important part of every football match, as they can single-handedly slow down or speed up the tempo of the match. Today, we take a look at some hilarious moments from these ball boys looking for their minute under the spotlight or just making a wrong decision in front of the cameras. CHEden Hazard kicking a ball boy. Back in 2013, CHEden Hazard was a fresh new signing for the Champions League winners at the time, Chelsea. The youngster impressed at Lille, where he managed to win League One Player of the Year twice in consecutive years for the 2011-12 and 2012-13 seasons. Everyone realized that it was about time for him to move away from France and go on to an even higher level, to the Premier League. Hazard had some offers from multiple top-tier English clubs at the time. However, in one of the first ever Twitter transfer announcements, Hazard published that he would join the European champions, and Chelsea fans were ecstatic. Their happiness continued when CHEden Hazard, indeed, turned out to be everything they'd hoped for and more. He broke down defenders, playing a beautiful and unstoppable brand of football for the enjoyment of the crowds, but the team wasn't doing as well. Still sobering up from the European triumph, Chelsea fell into all sorts of problems during the season. This resulted in their manager, Roberto Di Matteo, getting sacked early in the season, and it looked like the Blues' only chance of winning a trophy in Hazard's debut season at the club was the English League Cup. And it was a good run, too. Chelsea beat Leeds United in the quarterfinals to proceed to the Final Four, where they faced Swansea. Now, Swansea that season was something else. Michu played out of his mind and would later become the biggest one-season wonder the Premier League's ever seen. The first leg saw Michu score as Swansea brushed past Chelsea in a 2-0 win. The return leg, however, was an opportunity for redemption, as their last chance of getting a title that season was disappearing with the scoreline 0-0 nearing the end of the match. Frustrations got the better of Hazard after a ball boy didn't want to return the ball for a throw-in, instead laying over it. CHEden lost his cool. He kicked the ball from underneath the 17-year-old, but the referee was having none of it. He immediately red-carded Hazard, so the ball boy's childish stunt actually worked. Swansea went on to the final, where they won the whole thing. Jurgen Klopp and the clapping ball boy. It was one of the most exciting Premier League campaigns that we've ever seen. Liverpool and Manchester City were going at it with all they've got, and the citizens were doing everything they could in order to catch up with the Reds, who at one point had an 8-point lead over their rivals. However, Liverpool were still on top going into this dreadful weekend. City took their 3 points, taking the top of the table with all the pressure of the world on Liverpool's back, as they faced their City rivals, who were hoping they could crash their rivals' title hopes. Klopp couldn't resist but to take a subtle jab at Everton ahead of the derby, as he pointed out that taking points to Liverpool is the biggest thing in the world for the Toffees. We all know for them it's like a World Cup final, Klopp commented. In the end, Everton's heroic performance saw them keep Liverpool at bay, as the match ended in a 0-0 draw, and the German manager was all but happy. So when Everton's ball boy sarcastically clapped Klopp off the pitch, Liverpool's skipper was having none of it. He approached the ball boy, and they exchanged some words. The ball boy's dad later discovered what happened. It was just a bit of banter between Charlie and Klopp at the end. No threats by Klopp or Charlie. It was all good-natured, what the derby is all about. Charlie just asked him what he thought about the World Cup final. Must have been a painful slip for Klopp, who lost the league title that day, as Guardiola's men were flawless for the remainder of the season. Mourinho's ball boy story. Jose Mourinho's genius is only matched by his charisma. The Portuguese knows how to make an immediate impact no matter where he goes. However, many doubted Jose after his latest endeavors at Manchester United. The fans were calling him washed up, and the elite sides didn't want him in their dugout. Tottenham's Daniel Levy took the risk and signed Jose Mourinho after Mauricio Pochettino's departure earlier this season. It was a delicate moment to take over the Spurs. Harry Kane was continuously struggling with injuries, while players like Christian Eriksen and Dele Alli were far from their best. But as soon as Jose arrived, everything changed. It was only his second match at the helm, but the optimism was there at Tottenham, as Jose Mourinho led the team in the Champions League clash against Olympiacos, as the Spurs needed a win to go through. The match didn't start well. Tottenham were down 2-0 in Mourinho's first ever home match at his new club, but the team managed to tie it up, and it was on. Tottenham were looking for a match winner, and the crowd was in a frenzy. So when the ball went for Tottenham's throw-in, a ball boy recognized the potentially good situation for his team, so he rushed to give the ball back to his team. This resulted in Serge Aurier scoring to make it 3-2 for the North London side, and the special one was able to confirm his first home win with the Spurs. In fact, Mourinho was so ecstatic that he hugged the ball boy and spoke highly of him after the match. I love intelligent ball boys like I was. I was a brilliant ball boy as a kid, And this kid today was brilliant. He reads the game, understands the game, and made an important assist. He's not just there to look to the stands, lights, or scarves. He's living the game and playing it very well. I tried to invite him into the dressing room after the game to celebrate with the team, but he'd slipped away. The ball boy himself was out of this world with happiness. I was busy getting the ball that had come off, and then I heard the cheer. I turned around and Harry was celebrating. I looked at the replay on the screen and watched exactly what happened. Jose didn't have to do that. It was really nice of him to come over to me. It's made my day, my life really. I love Spurs, and it was an amazing moment I'll never forget. Lee Johnson celebrating the match winner. English League Cup can provide us with some amazing and heartwarming moments so often that it really serves as a reminder that football was played for the people. One such moment arrived on a spectacular night in 2017. Manchester United were the holders of the League Cup, and they wanted to defend their trophy, especially as the Premier League title was out of hands with Manchester City dominating the competition. Jose Mourinho and Zlatan Ibrahimovic pairing led Manchester United heavily against the underdog in the quarterfinals of the Carabao Cup as the Red Devils faced Bristol City. However, against all odds, the opposition held their own and the scoreline said 1-1 as the match entered the injury time. And then, out of nowhere, Corey Smith scored for an explosion of emotions in the stadium, and nobody was left quiet. Bristol City's manager Lee Johnson was enjoying the biggest success of his career as he ran for his life down the sideline, picking up the first ball boy in sight and lifting him up so they could celebrate together. Someone said I'd picked up my bigger brother. I didn't know what to do. Laugh, cry, cuddle each other. No one knew. I was going to run on the pitch, then I realized I couldn't. So it was great to see the ball boy. I needed to celebrate with someone. There was a great turn of pace down the line, the likes of which the fans haven't seen from me. I just needed someone to cuddle, and luckily he was smaller than me so I could pick him up. The ball boy was having a time of his life too, although he was a bit dizzy. Lee Johnson ran down the sideline and then he picked me up and spun me around. When he spun me around, it made me dizzy. I had a massive smile on my face. It was amazing. I've seen the pictures. Joe Hart wants the ball back. Perhaps it's not an unusual sight, but when the cameras pick up on it in an international tournament, it makes up an especially funny moment. England were facing Italy in the World Cup in 2014, and everything was at stake. With Uruguay and Costa Rica threatening to take the top two spots, these two sides had everything to play for on that fateful day. However, the Italians were prevailing after Mario Balotelli scored for the Italians, who took the 2-1 lead over the Three Lions. As the English were desperately looking for an equalizer, Andrea Pirlo almost drowned their hopes with a near-perfect free kick that ended up rattling the crossbar and going out of play. In a moment of self-contemplation, Joe Hart was shocked with the perfection of the kick, but he quickly woke up. In fact, his excitement got the better of him as he yelled and screamed at ball boys to give him the fucking ball back. Not only did he yell and scream, but Hart kicked the advertising board in the process, acting as if it literally was a matter of life and death at the moment. In the end, it was all for nothing. England came up short, but so did Italy, as neither team made it to the knockout phase, with Costa Rica and Uruguay qualifying to the next stage against all odds. Looking at these events, it's clear that ball boys are an important ingredient of every football match. Perhaps they're invisible at first sight, but in certain moments, their quickness of thought can make all the difference in the world, even at the very highest level.